All right, welcome back, guys. Almost 7:15 on your Tuesday morning. Voters in Orleans Parish, they narrowly renewed a millage. It was a very close margin, with the millage passing by only 2 votes, making it one of the closest elections in Orleans Parish history. Pretty dramatic result. It came toward the end of Hudson's rocky first term. So what does it mean going forward? Let's tell you, first of all, what it was, with political analyst Mike Sherman joining us this morning. Always love to have you here, Mike.
I burned out the refresh button on my computer Saturday night. I kept hitting refresh. This thing was a nail biter.
You're like, why such a big deal for this particular millage renewal?
So this was just a renewal of existing taxes, not the kind of thing that's usually so full of drama.
Right.
Except we're in an election year
Okay.
with Sheriff Susan Hudson. But oddly, this millage renewal was something that united get tough on crime folks to the right of center, and then folks on the criminal justice reform movement left of center who wanted to make sure the jail's properly funded, and it was just a renewal. But with only 2 votes, folks questioned, is this an indicator on the sheriff's popularity leading into an election?
And your answer to that is?
I don't think it's a good benchmark. I think people can separate millage votes, but I do think the sheriff, after having a series of scandals in her first term and 2 very prominent opponents, is going to have a rocky road to re-election.
And this is in an office that does not have term limits. So every single time you're talking about name recognition.
That's it. This is atypical to have such intense competition for a sheriff or police chief race.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, our police chiefs, our sheriffs, often get reelected, many times without opposition, have very frequently decade-plus long tenures. This is going to be an incredibly difficult reelection for Sheriff Hudson. It'll go to her management style, but also where the voters are with regard to criminal justice reform, whether Orleans voters want to get tough on crime or embrace kind of her left of center or progressive, I should say, or liberal policies on criminal justice.
Sure, the reform of the person, and yeah, it's a big topic. All right, let's talk about what's going on in the state legislature, because it's a very fast-moving discussion on some of these bills, such as the insurance one. Talk about that.
Well, this is the year of auto insurance. It's pitting insurance companies against trial attorneys.
Wow.
It's pitting Republicans against Republicans. Everyone wants to bring down auto insurance rates. I just paid my renewal. I was actually pretty pleased with where the rate was. Then I realized that was only the 6-month premium. I got to multiply by 2. These are awful rates. Everyone wants to bring them down, but right now there's not a consensus in the legislature on how to do that and what the root cause is.
Okay, so one part of the bill, which is a very interesting conversation, is it focuses on the undocumented migrant. If the person gets hurt in an auto accident, it limits how much that person can collect in damages. How much is that actually going to save in the bigger picture?
I promised our Fox 8 viewers I would look into this. I did that. I still don't know the answer. So there's some bills that are symbolic. There's some bills that will actually make a real dent in auto insurance. This particular bill eliminates the ability for undocumented immigrants to get general damages. So basically, if you get in a car accident and your car gets hit, you can get the bill you can get covered for getting your car fixed, but you would not get pain and suffering, you would not get future wages. That's what this bill does.
Interesting.
I can't tell from the testimony presented whether this is more symbolic or whether this really makes a big difference.
Financial, right. Mike Sherman, the conversation will continue. Thank you for having it with us.
Good to be here. Lots more to go in legislative session.
No doubt about it.